I'm Seve, and in my own journey to live a simpler and happier life, I have realized that life doesn't become richer through bigger achievements or more things, but through the parts we often miss in our day-to-day lives. Over time, I have found simple habits that bring more of those moments into focus. They have made my days feel deeper and more alive, while turning ordinary routines into the memories that really stay with me. And in this video, I want to share 10 of those habits with you so you can start living a life that feels rich in ways that go far beyond money. The first habit is to stop your day to help someone. Every now and then, we all come across moments where we could possibly step in for someone. Maybe someone drops something or looks a little lost or is struggling with a heavy bag, and it would be easy to just keep walking. They are probably not expecting anyone to help anyway. But when you actually stop, it can change the whole tone of the day for both of you. For me, it's less about the act itself and more about what it means. So holding a door or even pausing for a street performer and giving them like a coin, it's like saying, I see you. In a world where so many people feel invisible, that kind of recognition and kindness really matters. And it costs almost nothing, just a few minutes of time, but the effect can be really big. You might look back and think, yeah, that was a really nice moment we had. I still remember once, like years ago, there was this guy who had been posting online about how much he was struggling in life and mentally and all that. And I didn't really know him, like personally. I had just seen a few of his videos. But then one day I randomly saw him in my city, sitting alone. At first I just walked past, but with every step I felt this pull to go back. Even though it might look a bit weird, I turned around and asked if I could join him. He said, of course. And then we ended up sitting there for a while, just talking about life, basically. Nothing huge, nothing dramatic, but that moment still feels very rich to me. Two people who could have stayed strangers, sharing something really human. So the second habit is choose the more human way. This is something I have started to notice more in the past couple of years. How often we go for the easiest way of connecting. A quick text or a quick emoji these days. It's simple and sometimes enough. But the more I have paid attention, the more I have realized that every step closer to real human connection adds this warmth that you don't get from quick replies. Like sending a voice message instead of texting. Suddenly you can hear someone's laugh, their pauses, the way their voice carries what they really mean. Or choosing to call instead of sending that voice message. And even better, meeting up in person when you can. Each level adds something more human. There's eye contact, there's the body language, there's real presence. Those things make us feel less alone. What is really interesting, I think, is that I feel like Gen Z is actually better at this than millennials or Gen X. I have noticed how voice notes and video calls are becoming their norm, and honestly, I really like that. Of course, it takes a little bit more effort, but it also gives so much more back. Those choices that you make over time build much richer relationships. So sometimes now, before you text something important, ask yourself, can I go one step closer? The next one is walk like the journey is the whole point. Most of us walk like the only reason is to get somewhere. We are fast, we are focused, we have our head down, eyes on the next thing. They're basically just advancing step by step. But walking can be more than just transportation. It can actually be a way to experience life if you just let it. So the habit here is to make the walk the point, to notice things, to notice people. Sometimes I catch myself wondering what their lives are like, or I'll notice small details, the way light hits a building, the cracks in the pavement, or the sound of birds. Actually, I try to do that every morning, listening to the birds before I start my day. There's actually a study that connects this habit back to the first one I talked about, Back in the 1970s, there were seminary students, so people trained to be pastors or priests, and they were asked to write and give a speech about the Good Samaritan, so the story about helping others. Half of the students in this study were told that they were in a hurry to deliver this speech, and the other half were told that they had plenty of time, there's nothing to worry about. And on the way to the place where they would give this speech, the researchers put an actor in the street pretending to be hurt. And here's the crazy part. In the group that was in a hurry, 60% walked right past him, so more than half didn't stop. And in the group that wasn't rushed, only 10% walked past, so 90% stopped. Maybe you had heard about this study before, but I find it pretty interesting. The next one is make someone feel seen by speaking their language. There's something really powerful about speaking someone's native language. And it's not about being perfect or having the perfect grammar or anything like that. It's about the effort, the warmth behind it. When you try even just a few words, you see their face change and a smile appear. It's like a piece of home suddenly entered the room. This is one of the reasons why I've been so interested in languages for years now. Per esempio, ho studiato italiano tanti anni e questi giorni lo parlo anche a casa, a volte. Jag studerade svenska i skolan och jag har varit i Sverige några gånger. Agapo täällä den timame pola alla ehun mia thesistin cardiamo. Assalamu alaikum wa shukran. El español es otro idioma que puedo entender más o menos. Ja tietysti kaikille suomalaisille seuraajille myös iso kiitos, kun katsotte mun videoita. If you feel inspired to learn a new language or return to one you studied before, Rosetta Stone, the partner of this video, is a great companion for that. Rosetta Stone is a language learning platform that uses an immersion-based approach, which means you learn the language the way you would naturally pick it up if you were surrounded by native speakers through context, visuals, and active practice. I've been using it myself to refresh my Italian, and what I really like is how you are not stuck memorizing endless word lists or grammar rules. The lessons are easy to do whenever it fits your day, and they get you to start thinking in the language and speaking it out loud, which of course makes real conversations feel much more natural. With the audio companion, you can download your lessons and listen on the go, so you don't feel like you are glued to a screen. Rosetta Stone has been around for over 30 years, so they have helped millions of people learn languages and build confidence in speaking. And now they are offering a lifetime subscription, so you can explore all 25 of their languages for life. Through the link in the description, you, my viewers, can get it for over 60% off, so go check it out. Number 5. Give people what they need but are afraid to ask. Sometimes the most important needs are the ones people never say out loud. And when you are able to notice them and offer before being asked, it just feels different. It doesn't have to be big. It might be, for example, someone sitting alone at a party and you go over and you talk with them. Or someone who has had a long day and you do something small that makes their life just a little bit easier. You give them a glass of water, maybe a blanket, maybe just a listening ear. Things people don't usually ask for, but you can sense they might need. For example, there's someone in my social circle who isn't in the best financial position right now. There's not a lot of extra in his budget. He never asks still for anything, and even if he doesn't bring it up, when we go somewhere together by car, I just send money for the ride because I know that it helps a little bit and it is appreciated. Of course, here it's good to mention that this is not about stepping in with this "I know better than you" or "you need my help" kind of attitude. Nobody really wants that help that is forced or that is unwanted. So this is more about those moments when you are sure that it will be received well and it will actually help, when you know that it will not cross any boundaries. And when you get it right, when you notice the unspoken need and respond with care, it adds this richness to both of your days. 6. Do things even if you are scared. Fear doesn't always mean you should stop. Sometimes it just means this is new and I don't do this all the time. And honestly, some of the richest moments in life usually come with a racing heart or a step that doesn't feel too steady. I have noticed this so many times in my own life. In cold plunges, for example, unless you are really used to them, they never come easy. There's always that moment of hesitation or resistance before you jump in, but after you always feel better, lighter and much more awake. Or another example for me is running races. Every single time I get nervous, no matter how small the event is or how long the distance I am about to run. My stomach turns, I question myself sometimes like, why am I even doing this to myself? But I have learned that on the other side, almost always there's this deep sense of relief and pride. Even if the race doesn't go perfectly, I never regret really like showing up and doing that still. I think that is what courage really is. It's not about erasing fear, it's moving with it alongside you. It gives you memories you would have never gotten if you stayed safe. And when now you really think about it, so many people you have met, so many things you have experienced, they probably wouldn't exist in your life if you had let fear make that decision for you. Rest to make life feel full again. Poor sleep is probably the biggest factor for me being tense and grumpy. Some people don't seem to mind it that much. They can push through, stay up late, sleep wherever and whenever. I actually kind of admire those people who can travel without much planning, who are fine sleeping on airport floors or wherever they end up. But for me, it doesn't work like that. If I don't sleep enough, it can ruin a lot. Even good things feel kind of flat when I am tired. But when I do get proper rest, the difference is huge. It's like someone adjusted the focus on life. Suddenly, everything feels vivid again. Food tastes better, music feels deeper. Even just going for a walk feels much lighter and something I actually want to do. With rest, you start noticing beauty again because your body and mind actually have the space for it. You are not anymore in this survival mode. That's why I think sleep is one of those habits that looks passive, like you are not doing anything, but it's really what makes everything else come alive if you think about it. The next one is say things out loud that you normally only think. So often we keep the good thoughts inside. The compliment, the gratitude, or even just noticing something beautiful, it feels safer in your head because what if nobody else thinks like that and they just find you super weird for saying it out loud? But I have realized that life feels richer when your inner world isn't just locked inside, when you actually voice it out. For me, this happens a lot with friends. Like I'll point something out that I find beautiful, like the sun hitting the leaves or how the fog makes everything look magical. I said that the other day. And usually they're just silent and letting me be me, I guess. But it still feels worth saying because when you just put words to it, it feels more real, more grounded, like you have honored the moment somehow. So instead of keeping it all in, try to let some of those thoughts out. It adds another layer of connection both with the people around you, but also with life itself. Number 9, let your breath soften everything. This one is really about using the breath as a tool to experience life better. It's always there, always happening, and most of the time we don't even notice it. But when you actually do, it feels like the whole world slows down with it. I notice this in the most random places, at a social gathering, standing in line at the grocery store or in public transport. If I bring my attention to my breath, I instantly feel calmer. It's like the moment softens and suddenly I can notice what is around me clearly. Sometimes that is all it takes to reset your whole mood. Just a pause, a breath, and a reminder that Like you don't have to carry everything so tightly. And the richness here isn't in the breath itself, it's in the space it opens up inside you. That little bit of calm, that shift in perspective, that reminder that you are here right now. It's such a simple thing, but it changes a lot. And here's a great habit: watch something grow. There's something really magical about watching life come to life right in front of you. A plant slowly reaching toward the light, a pet learning how to trust you, or your child discovering the world one little thing at a time. On the surface, it looks ordinary and how things are just supposed to be, but when you step back, it feels incredible. Caring for something as it grows is one of the most beautiful experiences. It's a reminder that life itself is a miracle. It amazes me every single time to see something come from basically nothing, or at least nothing that we can see. And when you get to witness that, it changes you too. It changes your days, it changes your mood. Watching something grow, of course, teaches you patience, but more than that, it teaches you gratitude for life. It makes you pause, and that's where so much of the richness in life is found. Not in rushing, but in being there long enough to see things come alive and grow with you. Thank you so much for watching. Check out the Rosetta Stone offer using the link in the description. And remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. See you in the next one.